Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel, coming back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, eat folks, sampler reviews. Usually I'm due for the while. I'll go over there, grab food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. Oh, am I going to talk about the stuff? I'm going to let you know all you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that at the time I'm doing so. Got a Peter Can Thunderbolt poster behind me, crappy old ladder off to the side, bunch of Marvel figures up there. It's a wonderful November day. It's beautiful out. And on top of that, folks, wearing a cool shirt. When I wear a cool shirt, I like to highlight the cool shirt. What cool shirt am I wearing today? Cool crab shirt. I love my cool crab shirt. I've done my cool, because I do these in batches, typically. So cool crab shirt is going to be the shirt for this batch. And the nice thing is when I go over there and because I store all these videos on my phone, when I go over there to check my phone, it's easy to tell which batch is which because cool crab shirt. But anyway, cool crab shirt aside, what am I trying for y'all today, folks? Well, we're going to do boom! Boom! Lighting. There we go. We're trying Jelly Belly sparkling water, very cherry flavored. Okay, so let's get into this. If you're not familiar with Jelly Belly, they are most commonly associated with jelly beans. This isn't a jelly bean. No, this is sparkling water. But here's the thing, if I'm not mistaken, this isn't their first foray into the carbonated beverage world, because I believe during the 80s or 90s, they actually had a soda line of their own based off their flavors. I never got to try it. I think it was a little bit before my time, sadly. So what with all the nostalgia and things of the past coming back, hey, maybe let's bring back the Jelly Belly soda. Well, it's 2022, so instead let's make it sparkling water. Okay, I mean, right off the bat, I'm not a sparkling water guy. I've done some sparkling water stuff on this show, and it ranges from being tolerable to not tolerable at all. Like, to the extent where, I would actively fight somebody if they tried to go over there and give me some. I don't know where this is going to fall. Because I think the best one that I've ever had, Liquid Death, they do a range of them. Theirs are pretty good. And the lime one in particular, I'm sort of willing to go with because it's kind of like a watered-down 7-Up. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't think it's going to be the greatest thing I've ever had. And I'm mostly doing the review because of the Jelly Belly Association. But, sure, why the hell not? They also have other flavors, I know. This is just the only one that I ran into at the time. Alright, let's open you up. Ooh, fizzy. As one would expect, sparkling water. It smells cherry-like. I like cherry as a flavor, but the problem is I've had other cherry sparkling waters, and I don't typically spill them on my cool crab shirt, but, well, that's a thing that happened now. It's okay, folks. Cool crab shirt will endure. It's a very cool crab shirt. Yeah. All right. Okay. It's not bad. And here's why. So, like I said, like I was saying before I made an ass out of myself and spilled stuff on my cool crab shirt. Yeah. Uh, Other times when I've had cherry flavored sparkling waters, the cherry flavor is okay. It's not sweet. I'll get that right out of the way. It's not sweet at all. But the cherry flavor is okay, but then there's that rather awful sparkling water aftertaste, which to me, and the meme has been made, I'm just going to repeat it, it tastes like fucking TV static. And it really is just, to me, it's very gnarly. I'm not a fan of it at all. It's like kind of bitter, but then also like almost like its own taste sensation that defies all the others. It's not good, to me personally. The reason why this is better than those is because you get the cherry flavor, and then it doesn't become the sorrow of the world, okay? Because I can only assume that the aftertaste of sparkling waters is literally the people who went over there and came up with the sparkling water taste, they somehow managed to go back in time and condense all of the pain and suffering and death that was caused at the time that Krakatoa exploded and condense that into a flavor. And that's what sparkling water typically tastes like to me. This doesn't taste like that. It is cherry flavored, and then it just tastes like mild soda water. So that kind of works for me. And it's kind of why Liquid Death kind of works for me too, because it doesn't have like a harsh sparkling water taste. One of my hamsters is doing a thing. I have hamsters, by the way, if you're not aware. Every now and again, they make a cameo in one of these. One of them's doing hamstery stuff. Or that, or maybe it's my hedgehog. I have a hedgehog, too. He does not make cameos because he's an adorable hedgehog, and I love him. But he's a little grumpy hedgehog. He's not a camera guy. But no, I can kind of go with this. It's a lot better than I was expecting. Like, massively so. Now, the problem for me when it comes to flavored sparkling waters is that they fill a niche that I don't fit into. Because if I want something that's flavored, I'm just going to have like a soda or something like that. If I want to have a water, I'll typically just have a water. But I can understand, if you want a water experience, but you want it, to have a little extra oomph, a little bit something extra. I get flavored sparkling waters in that regard. They're not my go-to thing, but at the same time, I get the appeal. And to be fair, I have actually tried to get into sparkling waters because I have very actively tried to veer away from like soda and super sugary drinks and stuff as I've gotten older. Sparkling water just isn't the thing for me. It can be part of the thing, like I can have it as an option, but it definitely can't be like a one-to-one replacement for me. It just doesn't work. But I will say, if more of them tasted like this, still wouldn't be one-to-one, but it would be a little at least closer in the ratios there. Because I can kind of go with this. Whereas, comparatively, with most sparkling waters, every drink I have to go over there and basically rebuild my confidence to have the next drink. I have to go over there and talk myself through it. It's one of those things like, like the fight in the Rocky movies where it's like, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me by this stuff, and I go back into the corner, and Mickey's over there, and he's like, you gotta tear his ass apart, and this and Sylvester Stallone stuff. How weird is it, by the way, that one of the main action movie stars of the 80s, 90s, and even into the 2000s, same Sylvester. Like, I don't think anybody thinks about that. Like, that's an incredibly uncommon name, and it's mostly just associated with a Looney Tune cat. And yet, the man is still just one of, like, the biggest stars in the world. It's gotta be one of my hamsters. But yeah, it's not bad. Now, would I recommend it? Entirely depends on what you're looking for, folks. If you're already somebody who's into sparkling waters, I mean, for one thing, there's no reason not to try it, I would think. But maybe if you're already attuned to that sparkling water taste, maybe this would feel lacking to you. I don't know. Whereas conversely, if you're like me, where you are maybe trying to go there and wean yourself off of sugary drinks, this might be a better option for you than some of the more conventional ones. So I have to give it to Jelly Belly. You made a pretty decent sparkling water drink. I think the lime Liquid Death is probably still my personal favorite, if there's a personal favorite to be had, but this actually isn't a bad option. So anyway, folks, that's going to do it for me on this one. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of the day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupid ass for this year. And folks, if you can go over there and have yourselves a truly cherry-tastic rest of your life, because folks, cherries are delicious. They're for me as a kid, they were definitely my favorite fruit as a kid until I had pineapple. Once I had pineapple, that was a game changer. You know what? Have yourself a pineapple the rest of your life, folks, because it's pineapple. Oh, final two things, folks. Number one, try to bring some positivity to the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But you do. We can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You try not to be an asshole. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, folks, but sometimes it is the goddamn hardest thing in the world to do. But dial it back a little bit. Go over there. Take a moment. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in your lives. And I fail. Trust me, I fail. But hopefully, if we take that time to reflect, the next time something like that comes around, it's easier to not go over there and let the old asshole out. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you're going to try yourself some Jelly Belly Very Cherry sparkling water. Maybe like me, you'll find it to be surprisingly adequate. That's how I'll word that. But maybe also like me, you'd really just rather go over there and try the soda. So maybe you go over there and you talk to Mr. Jelly Belly himself, and, you know, he's 196 years old somehow. And you go over there and you talk with him and you're like, look, Mr. Jelly Belly guy, I love your product. Jelly beans are wonderful. It's fantastic. Now you got sparkling water. You know, that's actually halfway decent. Clearly, you know what you're doing. It's time to unleash the soda again. Bring it back from the vault. Make it available. There's this, you know, fat guy on YouTube who wears a cool crab shirt. I'm sure he'll review it, and most likely positively, because he looks like the type of guy who likes soda. I do! Or conversely, you could not do that. What's the thing that you could do, folks? Go over there and, it's the thing that you could do. Ultimate Frisbee! Right? Ultimate Frisbee is still a thing, right? I mean, I don't know if it is. I mean, I guess it depends on how many stoners live in your immediate area, because let's be honest. And I feel a little bit bad, because I'm sure they're like, you know, dedicated Ultimate Frisbee players and stuff who are probably really good at what they do. Oh, it is one of my hamsters, my buddy Bernard. Hi, Bernard! I would go over there and pick him up and have a little hamster cameo, but Bernard's one of my newer guys, and he'll let me hold him and stuff, but he's not quite there yet, so. But he's a super cool hamster. I named him after a restaurant that I bought him at a pet store, and I was making my way out onto the road. There was some restaurant called Bernard's, and that stuck in my head for whatever reason. And then it also turned out that one of the rescuers from the Disney's The Rescuer movies is also named Bernard. Granted, he's a mouse, but hamster, mouse. Anyway, folks, bye.